My name's Andy with Integrity Data Insights, and I help companies with their reporting analytics and some custom software. And I'm thrilled to have my guest with me today, Michelle Coffey from HTC, and she's the special events coordinator there and also runs the Giving Angels program, which is what we're going to be focused on today. So, Michelle, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for inviting me on the show.
So I'm excited because this is my first client that I've had on the show. So I'm excited because we can kind of talk about some of the stuff we've been able to do together. And I wanted to have Michelle on for a couple of reasons. Number one, I think obviously what HTC does is really amazing. And Michelle gave a highlight of that as a children's charity. So it's always good to highlight organizations that do good things. And then the second thing, I'm proud of what we've done together. We've worked on this for a couple of years now. And yeah, I think it's really cool we did, and I feel like there's other people that could probably benefit from something like this that maybe don't realize they could. So, but yeah, let's start with Michelle. So tell us about what is HTC?
Sure. So we are a nonprofit here in Dayton, Ohio, and we work with about 75 different partner agencies throughout Southwest Ohio. Our mission is to enrich the lives of children in need, and we do so by working with those partner agencies to receive descriptions of what the kiddos in these families need, and we provide care packages. Each family can receive a care package every 3 months, and we provide everything from clothing, shoes, toys, books, safety equipment, strollers, cribs, pretty much anything a child could need to thrive in their environment. We provide that to them.
Nice. Yeah, it's amazing. And you guys moved facilities this June, I guess it was. So if anybody's in the Dayton area, you should check them out. They always do tours and stuff. It's a really great organization. So
yes, and we get most of the items from our care packages from donations from the community. So we are open 10 to 4 Monday through Thursday at our new building in Miamisburg, but we also accept donations at our blue bins outside the door 24/7. So any new or gently used children's items, we'll be happy to take them from you and get them to a new home.
Awesome. And if that wasn't enough, so Michelle's main job this part of the year is running the Giving Angels program, which is a massive program. Until I got involved in it, I had no idea the scale and logistics and stuff that goes on. So hats off to Michelle for running this program. It's pretty amazing. And so tell us a little bit about what the Giving Angels program is.
Yeah, so Giving Angels is similar to our regular care package program in that we are providing items to children, and we do receive a list of exactly what those kiddos need, but with the specific interest of brightening their holidays. So that may be Christmas gifts for Christmas morning or whatever the family may celebrate. We provide each child with 4 items for the holidays, basically 2 items of clothing that they might need, and then 2 toys or other items that they would like as gifts. We also provide their parents with household items that could be something like pots and pans, could be paper towels, toilet paper, anything that the household might need that would be great to take that off of your monthly budget. And then as well as a grocery gift card so that they can hopefully enjoy a nice holiday meal. Last year, we served over 1,000 children in the program just for the holidays. And this year, my applications aren't all due until October 14th, but the projected number is 1,400 kids. So
wow, that's impressive. Yeah, I know when we first started, it's grown every year. So it's great that you guys are adding.
When I started 8 years ago, I think we probably had like 600 kids or something like that. So maybe even a little less than that. So it grows every single year.
Nice. So kind of when I heard about it, I'm like, I think I could probably help because tell us a little bit about the logistics of it. So tell us what you were doing before you and I worked together. I mean, you were, from what I understand, you got these stacks of paper and you had to type a lot of stuff in. Tell us about what it was like before you and I came up with this solution we're going to show.
Right. So it's interesting when I give the little Giving Angels overview, I always talk about, the kids that we serve and what we are able to provide to them. But what I usually don't mention is that we receive all those items once again from sponsors throughout the community. So it actually we focus on the logistics of just, okay, this kid wants this item. We need to make sure they get that item. But there's a whole other side of it, which is who's going to provide that item and how do they know what to buy? Because again, every child, in our care package program, if a child would really like a Minnie Mouse dress. If we have one in the warehouse, great. They're going to get a Minnie Mouse dress and in their size and everything. And if we don't, we're going to say, oh, darn, we didn't have one. Here's something close. In Giving Angels, we're going to pretty much try to get every kid exactly what they asked for. So it's different logistically in terms of like, here's this order going out to someone in the community who's going to shop for it, and I need them to bring me that item in the time that I need it to get it to that child. So the first part of that is receiving the list of items from the families, which again is through our partner agencies. So I work with, this year it's like 20, each one is kind of subdivided. So let's say about 20 different agencies for the Giving Angels program. And they used to receive paper applications from me that they would fill out by hand with the family's information, and then each child, their 4 requests, the family's requests, things like that. And then I would receive every single one. Every kid gets an individual number because, you know, we don't consider them to be numbers, but for organizational purposes, we need to refer to numbers to make sure we've got everything straight.
Yeah, I mean, you want to make sure the kid gets what, you know, what they asked for. And
yeah, we can't just say Michael. Oh, wait, which Michael? You know, that's not possible.
Exactly.
So we do use numbers, and that's a very important system for us. It kind of goes throughout the program because the sponsors will receive those numbers as well. But it used to be I would literally lay stacks of papers all over my office and number them by hand. And you know, if I made a mistake, which is still possible to make a mistake, you know, but it was just me and a pen. And then the worst part was that I had to type every single thing off of those applications into a database, which used to just be Excel. And then when I came on, I did get it into Access, but I'm a self-taught Access database maker. So it was kind of just a glorified Excel, but a little fancier.
Yeah.
Then the sponsors would sign up on a Google sign up sheet. And so basically, to assign sponsors to a kid, I was just clicking through Excel spreadsheets. Everything was just very by hand. Even when we're talking Excel, you know, there's no automation to it whatsoever. And it was extremely time consuming, starting with that typing of every single item in the program. So Andy was able to help.
Didn't you say you would like literally for weeks you would sit there and type?
I mean, it was literally when I came on to HCC, which again was like 8 years ago, that was pretty much my only job, was just Giving Angels. And that was it, was just typing and all this stuff and then dealing. And again, it was a lot fewer kids, not even a lot fewer. It was still a lot of kids, but not quite as many. But it would be such a daunting task at this point if I had to type all of this information in. I don't even know like if I could get it done. So the new process that we've created makes it a million times easier.
Oh, great. Yeah, and we're gonna show some of that. So let's start with, there's 2 major parts to the technology we built. So it's all web-based, cloud-driven. And so instead of, you know, someone having paper applications, we actually digitized all that and put it online. So let me look here. So this is our internal site, which we'll get to in a minute, but the links at the top are kind of more the public-facing links. So maybe just walk us through. We don't have to go through all of it, but so this, instead of them submitting something on paper, you know, you guys send out this link, and the family fills out all their information there, right?
Right. So I do request that basically the caseworkers from the agencies go through it with the families, and so the families aren't literally filling it out completely on their own. But yes, essentially, instead of this being all printed out, like literally this entire page was a piece of paper, and then we go through here. I'm just going to put a little test version here. So that's my information. They select their agency, which also, I mean, even that helps because it already categorizes the people. We work, again, via agency, and each agency does have their own number. So that just being automated already helps. And then they fill out their, you know, the family information, which again, I think I can just autofill my information here.
Wow, that's impressive how fast it autofills.
Yeah.
Not that that's anything we did.
Just everything that we need. So let's see. Let's say that if there was just one kiddo in this request, here you see where they can request what they need for their household items. So like I said, pots and pans are a common one. Let's say sometimes we'll get a request for like a mop, a broom, any kind of cleaning supplies are always a good one. Because especially things that are like pots and pans are like a really nice mop. Those are things that you're like, oh man, I wish I had that, but maybe it's not in your monthly budget to get that handled for your family. And then cleaning supplies are something that you're using up. So you can always use a refill of that and stash it in the cabinet until you need it again. Then, like I said, we also give them a grocery gift card so they can select where they're most likely to shop. this is a little outdated. We could probably remove that. But if they want a CD
It's
player or they need a
it's an
CD or a
enhancement.
DVD, we want to know they have the option to actually use that. The challenges they're facing. I'll just put test here because I don't want to make assumptions about what
Yeah,
anyone might be dealing with. But they do. We appreciate them sharing a little bit of information with us
yeah,
about what they're going through, and it helps kind of the sponsors to understand, hey, this is what folks in your community are actually dealing with.
right,
And then here we get
right.
to what the kiddos would like to have. So I think I filled this out before with my son's information, um, where they get to put everything. Shirt sizes are an important one. We've discussed that many, many times.
Yeah,
Um,
we've had several iterations of this, so it's evolved
yes, we
over the
have.
years, but
And we still don't know what exactly the easiest solution is. I think he's this size. We'll see. But yeah, so here you see they get to write down their clothing requests, their toy items, and then at the bottom we even have I don't know what you would call it, Andy, but I guess all of these are
yeah,
open text fields, right? Where you can type anything you want.
right. Yeah,
And this one can be like as long as you want to. Any information about them, kind of what their interests are, anything like that. We love less technology based, but more just in our actual
yeah,
care package
no,
filling. We love to have that. And actually moving it online enabled us to have that space because that wasn't on the paper application. You barely had room to fill out these fields here, the clothing and toy items. So it's really nice to have that open space where they can type anything they need. If the kid has special needs or, oh, they really aren't going to wear, jeans, only sweatpants. They really have an aversion to that, anything like that helps us make
yeah,
sure that, gets exactly what they need. So that's an additional thing that we weren't able to have on paper. So
right. My first question is, could you read people's handwriting? Because I know if I was the one filling it out, I
yes,
think
that
you
was
would have a
certainly an
hard
issue
time.
sometimes. We would and sometimes it's funny, there'll be requests for items that kids are into some type of toy or like some movie or game or a license that you've never heard of. So yeah, it'd be handwriting and a word that you're not even sure what the word could possibly be. So it'd be pretty funny sometimes. We'd be like, I think this might be a thing. And then you're Googling, like trying to match it up. So yeah, everything being typed is a lot easier.
Great. Yeah, so this is kind of the public facing side of it. So then
Well, this would be the agency facing side. I wouldn't call it fully
correct,
public, but the
correct.
next two things will be public. Yeah.
Right, right. Okay. Yeah,
I'm
you're
gonna,
right. You're
I
right.
think I'll just
Good.
hit back here.
Yeah, so the agencies
There
go
we
to
go.
this, they fill it out,
Yeah.
and then they yeah, I'm probably thinking too literally as a technical person, meaning
Yeah, I
like,
guess you're right. I guess you're
yeah,
right. You're right. It's not internal, but I wouldn't give it to the public either. So
right, correct.
I do
So
get bogged down in the program side of it.
no, you're absolutely right. There are different things for people to sign up for sponsoring these children too. So you have
hmm
two links there. Maybe just give us a highlight of that. What's
Yeah. Oh yeah. So we did pretty much just turn what was a Google form into, make it a little nicer on the website. And that way, instead of it filling to an Excel sheet that I have to then, download and save every time people sign up and everything, it's all just, I don't even know the technological terms for what I'm describing, but it all
you're
lives right here
good.
on the website, right alongside the children and family information. Like I don't know the words to describe it, but it's a vast improvement over the former process. So,
Right,
um,
because I think what you were dealing with is what a lot of people do is, even though because this is in stages, right? I think the first year we mainly just automated the input part, and every year
mhm.
we've kind of iterated more. But I think what we were facing was, you had the website that had all of its information in one database, then you had all the sponsor stuff in a Google sheet. Then you're
Yes.
trying to like match the two up, but at least now they're like all in the same ecosystem. So then we'll show that later, but
Right.
now you can kind of complete the whole loop where you have the people, the children and the sponsors in one system. So now you
Yeah.
can actually do the assignments, whereas before that part had to be manual because it was in a separate
Yes. And it
technology.
makes me feel a lot less crazy thinking like, oh, did I go and download the latest iteration of the tree host list or the sponsor list, which is what the sponsor sign up is what we're looking at now. The fact that it all just lives inside the same link for me, and I just keep a tab, like I keep a window open up on my computer at all times, it's just so much nicer, and it makes me feel a lot less crazed basically at any time. Like, I gotta go here, I gotta go here. Oh no, did I remember to check this? It's all just one spot, and it's so much easier.
Great. Well, maybe let's get into the more the internal part of it, or the
Sure.
staff side of it. So we kind of get the idea, you're collecting, the first part of it, these very detailed applications and things about the kids, then the sponsors, and the treehouse is basically just like a company sponsor, right, where they
Yes.
so now let's get into kind of the internal side of it. This part I think was probably the most recent part that we've done the last year or two.
Yeah.
But maybe walk us through that, starting, I guess, with that first. This is when all the applications are done, or even if they're not done, you can kind of go in there and manage them and do what you can to run the program.
Exactly.
So yeah,
So
that's what we're looking at here.
yeah. So
Oh, and this I should make one real quick disclaimer is I put up all this test data in here, so I don't want people to think that I'm showing actual people's. So I
you can see
purposely
these are
set up
not real
another
agencies
environment.
that I work with at all.
Good.
But the
Yeah,
ones,
I didn't want to do this demo and show real people's information. So this is all made
yes,
up data.
we appreciate that. So there's
If you can scroll
there's
to
so
the top
much.
just real quick.
Oh,
Okay, so this is like the application. So this is basically all those applications that came in.
yes, and I'm able to, like, for my real database, sort by, let's say, like, I don't know who test partner ABC is, but let's try it out and filter and see. Let me get that to load there. Okay, so only one here, but if test partner ABC was in my numbering system, partner 700, then what I
Yeah.
do in my real work process is to come here and view the application. So now I've got everything. I can see everything that they input. Okay, here's, this child, everything looks good. And I actually do read every single piece of information here. And let me see, I was looking at a couple yesterday. I don't know. There was something where they had put fleece pajamas, but then they put, like, in parentheses a bunch more information about pajamas being soft, and they really wanted soft pajamas and all this stuff. And I kind of just took that and edited it down using my old English degree skills to just say soft, warm fleece pajamas. Because what's going to happen is and this is something else, Andy, that you really helped with. The information that is input right here, where you're seeing clothing need 1, 2, 1, 2, is going to be sent. That's what the sponsor is going to view on their end, which that is a major improvement on that process, which we can talk about. But so I do go through and edit for clarity. I want to make sure the kids get exactly what they need. But if you can see that the person typing was kind of like, I'm just kind of stream of consciousness here.
Yeah,
I do go through and edit to make sure it's as clear as possible, because whatever we see on this screen is essentially exactly what that person is going to see on their end.
Right, because you're matching up, the kids with sponsors that are going to purchase these items. This one winter coat and shirts and stuffed animals. So then then a sponsor, like our family always sponsors some kids, and a lot of generous people in the community do. They get this information, and then they go shopping and they know what to buy. So
exactly. So I want to make sure it's as clear as possible, because if it's not, then I get questions from those sponsors, which is fine. I don't mind answering those questions, but it can add up to a lot if there's not clarity on each one. So I already have about 200 or so kids input on the real database, and so yesterday I started going through and editing them for clarity. And like I said, this is actually not what I meant to click. Over here, this will be my first task for every child, is to number them. So like I said, if this was my agency that goes by the 700s, then Maya, being the first kid in here, would be child 701. And again, that was just me writing on paper and then typing it into the Access database and stuff like that. And now I put it in right here, and I can easily view it. And when I go, let me see, back here, and I refresh. Yeah, there we go. The HTC child ID. I didn't do her other 2 siblings, but it actually does populate very quickly so that I can see, okay, these ones are numbered, and I'm able to make sure that I've got all the numbers in the right order, and so on and so forth. So that's the first step. It gets a little granular if you're not actually in the program, but it's again very helpful that Andy has automated that process in a way. So,
but this just gives you kind of a real quick view of all the applications that came in. You can filter by partner or the caseworker or different things, and then maybe click on the this was new for this year, was the export to PDF.
Oh yeah. So we do, it's funny, I say, like, we don't want to deal with any papers and stuff, but then later in the process, we do actually need them on paper for when we're actually filling the items.
Because you have physical items, you want to physically,
we basically need an actual checklist, because I have a team of volunteers we're not operating via computer at that point. We're walking around a room filled with thousands
Right.
of items. So we do need paper checklists.
This is just the PDF export. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry about
Perfect.
that.
No, you're right. That's great.
Yeah. So this shows all the information from the application that, like I said, we'll need as a paper checklist. And I do need to go through and edit to make sure we could get it all printed a little bit nicer on the page. But yeah, we use this. This is essential to our process at the end where we're actually matching up all the items with the kiddo that asked for them. We need a paper copy, and Andy made that very easy to just have a nice printed one where everything looks, essentially the same from application to application. It's a much easier process that way.
Great. Yeah, thanks for showing us that. Let's dig into a little bit more of the site. So I guess that's kind of the highest level view. Let's see what else is there. There's ways to export things. You can view all the children.
Yep, and then the download application data in Excel is very important for me as well, because that kind of gives me more options to just sort and view what I need in like the quickest way possible when I'm dealing with questions from volunteers and stuff like that. So I always like to keep like the latest download of that later. Once all the applications are in, I keep the latest version of that kind of on my computer as well.
That's one of my favorite features, because when I was involved at the beginning, I would have to export it for you most nights.
I did have to ask Andy to send me that information, which was, I'm sure, irritating for him. But then he was able to automate it so that I can just click on it myself and I do not have to bother him. So, but that's the level of customer service that you give, Andy. You were able to always answer my emails and get those back to me. So.
No, that was great. Like I said, this was kind of an iterative thing, right? I mean, we didn't do all this at once.
Definitely.
So at first, we definitely, it's been every year we've kind of evolved it. So let's show how you kind of maybe showed the sponsor part of it. That might be interesting. Kind of.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Now, did you put test sponsors in here?
I did. Yeah.
Okay, great. So this is the list that Andy has made that I can get in here and look at who this person is. Abigail wants to sponsor 3 children, doesn't care, what age, because the program covers children 0 to 18. So she'll take any of them. And then I can go down here and filter. If she, for example, only wanted to sponsor girls or something, maybe she has daughters and finds it easier to shop for girls or something like that, I can filter that if I want to. Usually I do wind up just going through the unsponsored and kind of just looking on my own. Just part of the process. So what I would do here,
right?
I would look. So Abigail wants 3 kids. So I'll be able to look here and I can see through my numbering system, which I guess you already have these numbered. So great. I can kind of see, okay, where's a family of just 3 people? And when I find 3, like here's Jackson. Perfect. Yeah. Jackson has 3 kiddos that I can see by numbering and basically by the family name. And you can always dig in further. I can click on this and that takes me into the application if I feel like I want to double check something. If not, I can just check mark those 3 kiddos and hit assign sponsor. Sponsor assigned successfully. And look, child count 3, sponsored 3. I cannot tell you how big of an improvement that is over what I was doing before, which was like highlighting Excel spreadsheets and like all my color codes. Like this person is sponsored. This person is like partially sponsored. It was a real complicated. So this is like wildly easier. I've already been doing some for the actual database this week as I'm like, okay, this person does want to shop for, 2 girls between these ages. Again, usually that's because they have kiddos of their own that match those ages. Fun for them to help shop for someone that they, might identify with. But I do have to dig through all the kiddos and see, okay, this one matches this request, this one, so it's a fun little puzzle, but it's more fun now that it's made simpler by this database. So
I like, and I think my one takeaway that, I love that, like, it's not like, and I'm not, making fun of any other programs or anything, but like, it's not like, hey, just give us whatever you want, or, hey, you're going to sponsor a kid, you're going to do what we tell you. Like, you're really like catering kind of to both sides, really, right? I mean,
I do feel that way. I don't know of another program that kind of runs this in this way. I don't know, like as someone who has shopped, from picking up a tag in your doctor's office or the gym or something like that in the past, or like maybe a church, you don't know anything about really what you're getting and such. But here, like I can give you, obviously I'm not sharing personal details, but I love to give those folks, a little more information about the kiddo that they're shopping for and kind of paint a picture for them of like, hey, this is the child whose holidays you're brightening by doing this for us. And the sponsors, I mean, I've had some that have been a sponsor every year that I've been in charge of the program. So that's 8 years now. I do feel
Wow.
like we have a really good, return on what we do. And I appreciate the sponsors so much because every single year I'm like, wow, there's more kids. How am I ever going to fill this up? And every year we do. And usually we have extra. So
Yeah,
people are
it's
just so
impressive.
generous with the community.
I was privileged to come the couple, obviously we drop off the stuff but I came the one for more of extended time to kind of film and document. And
Mhm.
it was cool just seeing the people walk in and, with their kids and,
Oh, yeah.
dropping huge things off. And then the
Yeah.
volunteers, the army, you guys have kind of an army of volunteers that handle all this. It's crazy.
Yeah,
All,
the volunteers are awesome. The sponsors are awesome. You should come back this year now that we're in like our more permanent space for the program. It's
that's
really fun, and I
right.
think people are really excited that we have our new building because there were a few years that we had to rotate our location because we really outgrew the program, outgrew the old space. And now we're probably in our
Right.
permanent home here, and it's like, oh, okay, we're going to do great and fill this one up too. So people are really excited about it, and I'm excited to have the community, behind us on this. So it's great.
Awesome. Yeah. Let's
Well,
see.
I actually
Maybe
think the next tab is probably, besides me not having to type the
okay.
applications, the next tab
Sure.
is probably actually the most important tab that you created.
Yeah, go ahead. That's great.
This improved my workflow by just exponentially. So what I used to do is every time I would assign a sponsor, again, through like Excel spreadsheets and stuff, I would then go through and create each person an individualized Excel spreadsheet. So if Abigail Anderson is
Okay.
sponsoring
Yeah.
these 3 kids wherever they went, I would have to go find them. Like, let's say it was 801, 802, and 803. I would go copy and paste
Yeah.
801, 802, and 803 from one Excel spreadsheet into a separate Excel spreadsheet. Format it nicely, make it look real pretty. Um, I don't know if it was gorgeous, but I wanted it to look like a
Yeah.
person had put effort into this and not just say like, here you go, here's some junk, shop for this. Um,
Right.
and it's
Here's
like,
your spreadsheet, shut your mouth and buy the
yeah, it's like hundreds of sponsors.
yes.
So I was making hundreds of individualized spreadsheets and saving them to my computer and then emailing each one out individually. And there's like a lot of room for human error in there. And believe me, I did all the errors over the years. Like, I didn't get mine went to spam, you sent me the wrong
Yeah,
info. It's just there's so many opportunities for failure along that path. It always worked
for
out. We got it
sure.
done. But this was the thing that I explained to Andy, like, if we could make this happen, and I never know like the technological terms of what I'm asking for, but I was like, if we could make this thing happen, it would be a game changer. So what happens now is I'm able to send out one copy and paste email to every single sponsor and say, hey, thanks so much for sponsoring. Here's information about the program. Here's when we need your items back, everything like that. And then just say, go to this
Yeah.
link to find your sponsor info. And then they put in their email here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this part, so this is, if I'm a sponsor and you want to give me, what gifts should I buy? You send this one link out, they go to this page and then you
Yeah. So
search their
everyone, it's just the same link for every single person, which is such an improvement over what I was describing with making all those Excel sheets. That's
yeah.
so unnecessarily time consuming and stressful. So now every single person gets the same link. It works for every single person. I really have had almost no complaints about it since we started doing this. I think maybe just last year, maybe it's been 2 years that we were able to
Yeah.
add this. But it is such a vast improvement, and it just pops up with essentially like an Excel spreadsheet, and it doesn't give out the family information, address, phone number, any of that stuff. It just has those kiddos' request. And like I said, I do go through and edit everything to make sure that what they see is clear and not anything confusing.
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. I can't imagine how much time would that take? So you had to go through, and I guess my biggest takeaway is I feel like the technology has enabled the program to expand because I don't think there's any way, I'm not saying you couldn't have, but when it started, compared to where it is now, I don't know if it was scalable to do 1,400
I have to agree with you. It definitely would have been not scalable for sanity, I don't think. And also, it probably has enabled me to my kids have a fall break at the end of October, and we for the past couple of years taken a family vacation during that fall break. And I don't think I
Right.
could have possibly taken that time away if I was back at my desk having, because people receive their information basically like on Halloween. I always say like, get your Christmas information from me on Halloween or like the first week of November. That's my deadline for everyone to receive their information. And now I'm able to travel in that last week of October without thinking, oh my gosh, I cannot get Giving Angels done. So yeah, both ways. That's a vast quality of life improvement for sure.
That's amazing. Yeah, great.
I think that pretty much covers it. I mean, this website is where the agencies come. This is where the sponsors come, where the tree hosts come, and then where I am doing all the behind the scenes work that I used to just do in 100 Excel spreadsheets. Now it's just me on this website. There's just less room for complication and confusion because everything is contained right here, and it just feels a lot more straightforward. I love it.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, Michelle, thank you so much it's been a real pleasure working together. I mean, this is fun. I love this stuff and I love making a difference and helping. And I just like solving problems, and it's been great working with you because it's a fun challenge, but it's also it's a meaningful thing, and you've been great to work with. So I really appreciate you taking the time to show us this. And how can people get involved if they still want to get involved in the program?
Oh, definitely. There's plenty of time. So like I said, as of now, I've got about 200 kids already signed up in the program, but the agencies know that they have until October 14th to finish filling out those applications. So that number is going to shoot up in the next couple of weeks. And as of yesterday, Andy, I have 535 kids already covered by sponsors. So that's a really good number. But as you can see, if it's going to get up closer to 1,400, I still need more. So what you would do is just go to our website, htcdayton.org. And all the links are there. It's also on our Facebook and everything like that. Or you can always reach out to me. givingangels@htcdayton.org is my email. And I can always send you those links and I'll send you the link right to this website, and you can sign up at the lovely application that Andy made for us. So
yeah, we'll put the link
linked up.
We'll put the link in the comments. And then you can be a part of, you can experience what you've seen today.
Yes, I'll be back there clicking you around there and assign you to the kiddos that you requested. And then you'll receive that link to shop. So it's great. I love doing it. I don't think I've never had another job that I actually love doing and love going to the office and love working with the people that I work with. And Andy has been such a great help. I think he needs to come and automate other processes in the building, which I know you've done a couple more. I'm not the only person that you've helped, but we were very Stone Age paper office only. And this has made such a big difference. So, and saving some trees, I think.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Thanks so much, Michelle. This was a great, you're doing a great job with the program. Keep it up. And
thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you everybody for joining me. And if you need help in this area, please keep us in mind. We do custom website stuff. We do reporting, all kinds of data wrangling, productivity things we can help. We love helping with these kind of processes, making things better, reducing, typing things in. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. And